Welcome everybody to Oceanside Library's Poetry Near and Afar, featuring our friend Robert from California and one of our local favorites, our former poet laureate Linda. So we are delighted to have everybody here. We have one more week, well, in 2 weeks we have one more session of these, and then we shut down for the summer, and then Poetry Near and Afar probably will be back in October because in September I'm going to be in outside of Florence for the month. So I don't think I'm going to be calling in from there. I don't think my wife will let me call in from there. And I don't know how the library is going to handle this going forward. Have not finalized how the poetry at Oceanside Library is going to be handled following my retirement in July. But I have a good feeling that I'll be around. So not going to go too far from this stuff. I like it too much. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Robert Rubino.
Thank you, Tony. And just a brief opening remark, and then I'll get to it. About 2.5, 3 years ago, Tony invited a San Francisco poet to be a co-feature, Dan Brady. And Dan is a friend of mine and a mentor of sorts. And Dan invited me to come and listen, and I did. And I fell in love with the Oceanside poetry community and have tried to be a regular ever since. And I really admire how Tony runs it. So I will dive in. I have about 15 minutes worth of material here. King for a day. The checkers pieces get reset yet again. He calmly assumes an air of dignity while hunched in a wheelchair, his chin looking like it's attached to his plaid shirt's buttoned top button, his oversized diaper bulging over coffee-stained red sweatpants, his wrinkle-rutted face splotched with dried blood, result of nursing home aides shave, his breath a labor of longing, watery eyes searching for land. His World War II combat brothers, all gone. His Josie, wife of 62 years, dead 3 months. The family expects him to follow any day now. Family will be wrong by 5 years. He makes yet another unruly triple jump, using whatever pieces moving in whatever direction he damn well pleases. This time adding a flourishing flick of his wrist and a guttural gargle of a command. King me. Well, I know a con job when I see it, or at least I think I do. Hell, I really have no idea. I sit and I stare, shrug and sigh. No more resetting of pieces. Time and toil crown my father, and his tender tenor rasps. Give up, wise guy. Adventure in a no seatbelt car seat. The boy observes, the man remembers. 8 years old, squished inside against driver's side rear door of neighbor's 4-door Ford sedan, crammed with kids being driven in winter to 9 o'clock Sunday mass. The snow turned to sleet, the streets turned to slush, the car's heater overheating everyone in the car, the car's sharp turn turning into a skid, the driver's side rear door flying open. The boy observes, the man remembers, holding on to nothing, nothing but the edge of his no seatbelt seat, while staring at the slushy street sliding underneath. Can't look away, can't scream, can't speak. But then the car comes out of the skid, regains traction, forcing the driver's side rear door to safely slam shut. Nobody else notices. Nobody else notices? Nothing said. Nothing at all. The boy observes. The man remembers feeling what, besides confused? invisible, invincible, insignificant? Yes and no. Mostly yes. All of the above. They get you when you sleep. You're 10 years old. You and two pals see Invasion of the Body Snatchers at the seat creaking Colony Theater on a sunless Halloween Eve afternoon. And it gets in your head, under your skin. It's spooky. It sparks angst. It's soul core captivating, stirring sleepy suspicions of those you know, although they appear the same as always, might not be who you think they are or who they say they are. Parents and siblings and neighbors and pals might not be parents and siblings and neighbors and pals, might be soul sucking, non human, bland as peas in a pod people. Scariest of all is you. You might not be your own true self. You might not really be who you think you are, who you say you are. You might not really be you. Grandpa, grandson, climate change. Springtime, front yard, grandpa, grandson, wiffle ball games. Autumn, backyard, grandpa, grandson, touch football games. Summers, in community swimming pool, grandpa, grandson splashing, laughing to the beat of beating the heat. Winter, rainy days, indoors, cozy, warm, grandpa, grandson building, Legos, building and rebuilding. Outwardly, growing old, growing up, moving away, moving on, proved to be irreversible climate change for grandpa, grandson's earthquake cracked bond. Inwardly, like perfectly preserved specimens trapped frozen in a pristine, ancient, glassy glacier, warm grandpa grandson bond remains warm. Out of sight, but never out of memory. Buried alive, but alive nonetheless. Bring your son to work day. Garment District, New York City, 1961. High school dropout in the 1930s, World War II combat veteran in the 40s, freight elevator operator in the 50s and beyond. Same union job his first generation father held, and in the same building, too. Dusty, grimy, busy, boring, noisy, quiet, stuffy, drafty, with assembly line sweatshops on all 10 floors, assembling stuffed toys and purses and corsets and clocks and socks, shirts, skirts, where he jokes with the men, flirts with the women, and makes baseball bets with the truckers, and where in the basement at lunchtime he eats a sandwich from the next door deli, feeds the sleek rat-catching black cat, and reads the daily news, listens to big band music on his transistor radio. Subway plus bus plus 3-block walk totals 2+ hours round trip. Saturday might be a half day of overtime. Only 22 years to retirement. Mr. Gavigan, Ode to a High School Teacher from Long Ago. He taught U.S. history and civics and current events. We'd often read Time and Newsweek aloud in his class. This being 1962, we would discuss Cuba and Khrushchev and James Meredith defying a racist governor. He wore black horned rim glasses and the red round Lucky Strike logo visible through the pocket of his wrinkled white shirt, his reed-thin tie swaying to the bebop beat of his baritone, counterpoint to his chalk snapping notes on the blackboard. His unquestioned command in a classroom as natural as an MVP quarterback's on a football field. And on an essay written by a shy so-so sophomore with a singular secret ambition to be a writer, Mr. Gavigan wrote, "You have a talent for literary self-expression." One comment that's ignited 60 plus years of motivation. Wallflowers of the world, unite. We baby boomer wallflowers, having barely begun our body blooming years, must have looked like bug-eyed fungus, our backs against the wall of a nearly finished suburban basement, as if in a Twilight Zone police lineup, as our hipper, cooler, hotter, braver, better complexioned peers, slow as molasses, slow dance to Johnny Mathis songs before graduating to frisky French kissing on couches demoted from the plastic-coated living room upstairs. As one wallflower's politely ruthless rejection of another's painfully belated dance offer somehow certified all our freshly minted guilty innocence, we wallflowers silently stared into our geeky grim here and now, desperate for a time machine to the future, or merely better timing, as the misty music lingered in the subterranean air. Two memories of fleeting fatherhood. That first time, that ephemeral here and now and gone moment when your child, so fresh, so fragile, squeezes your finger in that little hand, that tiny fist, that mini face, those big eyes locked with yours, that smile of pleasure pure, your feelings more complex than calculus, feelings so intimate, intense, tender, raw feelings, deep, wellspring deep, unbearably unbreakable, proud, humble, fragile, handle with care, breakable. 5 years later, or 6 or 7 if you're lucky, that inevitable day when in a crowd or crossing a street, you reach for that hand, as you've done 1,000 times. But this time it's declined, not unkindly, but inevitably. That little symbolic bond lost, irretrievably gone. And the jolt, the pain, the bittersweetness, it's just a quick passing wry smile moment, swallowed by bigger, more important moments. It won't linger. It won't linger, but it will haunt. Bobby Kennedy at Our Lady of Pompeii in the summer of 1966. What are you doing there anyway? You, a red-blooded 18-year-old American male in a Little Italy neighborhood church at noon on a weekday among a few old folks? Oh yeah, you're still a believer, though doubt drips upon the soul like a canaveral countdown. Then whispers ripple like a healing breeze for a wounded world while fingers point. What's he doing there anyway? Alone? No Senate aides, no security, no family, standing below one of the stations, the one about Simon helping to carry the cross. Serene as a shy saint, aglow with a Buddha smile, probably ducked in on a spur of the moment for a moment's peace, just like anyone. And just like that, he's gone, leaving us to wonder. And I will conclude with this one. I just wrote it a week or so ago. It's called Saturday Morning Comforts, 1958. Mother making French toast, frying slices of egg yolk soaked white bread browning. Brothers, ages 3 and 6 and 10, waiting, wearing, Davy Crockett Lone Ranger Zorro pajamas. Rain spitting on panes provides one soundtrack. TV cartoons another. Half-day overtime bound father shaving to radio big band swing, yet another soundtrack. Time to break out log cabin syrup, watery. Blue bonnet margarine, rock hard. Vanilla extract aroma like church incense, filling that 3-room apartment in Queens with life in luxury's ample lap. Thank you so much for inviting me here, Tony, and thank you to this community. It's always been wonderful to read here and to listen to others here.
Robert, thank you so much. What a wonderful reading. It's been a pleasure. We thank you so much for joining us each week, each time. We absolutely love your stuff. And this was a great, great reading. You can unmute yourselves, people. Let them hear it.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Well done.
Woo! Really well done.
There we go. All right. Hey, so moving on. A good friend of ours, good friend of the gazebo always, and former Nassau County Poet Laureate, ladies and gentlemen, Linda Opyr.
Thank you, Tony. And Robert, I just want to say that your poems were amazing. I'm honored to follow you. And may I just say to you, I know that, boys observe and men remember, but this poet observed and this poet will remember. You were just magnificent. Pleasure to read you tonight.
Here, here.
So I'd like to begin by reading a few poems from Where the Eye Wants Coast, which was a book of mine that came out in March of 2020. So needless to say, I didn't get to read very much from this book when it just came out. All because a robin perches on a white fence and an amber gauze of failing light. He fills the eye which calls to the heart. I ready the nest, bring what you will. Bits of yesterday everywhere, soft as fur, strong as stick, enough to hold the rush of rain, the wild of wind. All because of a robin. The soul throws open its windows, finds the dawn, its slow lift of the day's small, tender throat to the warmth of sun. And I think spring is a time of awareness and all kinds of awareness. This next poem, Something Changed. The light shifted into shards of shadow. The trees spread their dark sides to the earth before me. How will I breathe when your breath is gone? This next poem that I'd like to share is a poem that really asks us to think about how wars go on after pieces have been declared by whoever has declared them. This one is called After My Father Returned from the War. Why are you still on the ground, Carl? My father asked the boy who lived on the corner but lay on the lawn behind our house. I'm dead, he answered. You've been dead a long time. Get up. And then to my brother and me, my father said, start the game again. And why does Carl always have to die? My brother and I, in our coonskin caps, holstered guns at our sides, explained that Carl was German. Germans were the ones who died. Get up, Carl, my father called to the boy, whose fringed Western jacket and pants were soiled with grass stains and dirt. Get up. No one's going to die today. A poem that looks at a different part of my history, that time of life when I was ready to buy a house. Buying a house. My grandmother told me to buy a house if I wanted. By then, her legs had stiffened, and she sat in one position for hours. Glaucoma for years. I'm not even sure that she saw me there, caught between the encouragement of my mother's chatter and my father's silent disapproval. But she nodded again and told me to be happy, which I think had nothing to do with whether or not I bought the house. And this next poem is an epistolary poem, and it's called Dear Sister. Dear sister, forgive me this many-yeared silence, this never having spoken. My mother's first child, still at birth, you seemed so far away. Each year I could have told you that on the month and day of your birth, I remember thinking, this was the day my sister was born. Never. This was the day my sister died. This lifetime without you, and the sister you or I could have been, has been so long, so strangely quiet. Did I tell you? I never knew the year, just that everything happened all at once, before I was born and then lived. In noonday sun, I walked the same sand, the same way, when I saw a turtle, brown head and shell, yellow gold. His thick feet paddled the beach behind him until he slipped into the gray-green mystery of water. This is the gift of an open heart. Not desire, not fulfillment, not the spectacle of grandeur where grandeur is known to be, but seeing the life before us and loving whatever it is we make of it and all that we cannot. And so, with that, I conclude this part of my reading, which is from Where the Eye Wants Coast. I had the good fortune of having a new book published at the end of this February, and that book is called The Kite. And I would love to read to you from the beginning of The Kite. What's different about this collection for me is that it's a story poem. The whole book is one story told in a poem. With apologies to Judy and to Doreen, who heard me read a little bit from The Kite on Saturday. If anyone is interested in purchasing a copy of The Kite, the books are for sale at allbooks.com, the publishing company run by Monk in Suffolk County. If you go to my website, there's a link there that you can follow. So, The Kite, a story poem. The Kite. Does sky know what will happen before it happens? First the gray, then the rain? Does sky know when gray and rain will meet and how they know when the time is right to travel together? An island knows the sea, the stillness before a stormy curtain of lightning, slash and roil of rave thunder. But how long? How long before the little one will come out once more? This island does not know. Sometimes the land seems to rise from sea, the soil drier, shore given more to sun than tide. And the smell of a day holds more of sap and tree than salt and wind. A sign. Then another. Beneath a tangle of root and bracken, the skitter of small change, as if it's true. She's here. You say you don't see her? What? What don't you see? Hair, eyes, a bit of nose, a mouth that shapes the words, here I am. You won't see those. She is not a mirror. Disappointed on this beautiful day? Don't be. Think of sky. What sky may know, what's a surprise? She's right there, waiting. Time is a kite. Run a bit. Don't be afraid to let out string. Trust even what can't be seen. This, most of all. The flower. The soft vision of a young yellow flower rises between flats of stone. Its light-lit basket of petals gathers the warmth of day, the cool of moon. But in the long night, this is not so. The sun no more than an ember in the thought of a day long gone. And the small flower? No longer where you saw her. Best to enjoy her. She knows more than she lets on, leaning and looking in the wind. She nods, yes, yes, at stone and sea. Not a bit too, if you like. This sky is perfect for the blossom of a kite. or the small boat of a smile out for a sail when the wind is up. And the wind is up. The leaves twist and turn, bend their branches every which way, calling, "Here, here." They do not look for the little one as you might try to look for her. They feel her near. On a ribbon of path, a simple pebble runs to water's edge, and there the wind speaks in ripples. Air and water, water and air. Tide delivers the little one to all at once familiar and oh, so very fine. Home is a cloudless shore of wind-blown stars. We dream their dreams in the humming of songs we don't know. They sing to her of a flower that nods to sea and stone. Yes, your flower, the one she must see first. So that opens the beginning of the book, The Kite. Um, and it is self-contained. In other words, you don't have to get to volume 2 to find out what happens. Okay, it's everything is contained in this book. The profits from this book will go to buy supplies for the preschool at the Shinnecock Indian Reservation in Southampton. The book was a real gift to me. I don't usually write stories, but after a trip to Finland, I came home, I think, very much inspired by the Finnish writer Tove Jansson, who has written the wonderful children's books about the Moomins, those imaginary creatures she created. And as I sat with a pen in my hand, this story emerged. So it's kind of a respite from the news in the world we live in today. And I hope if anyone is prone to buying it, that you will enjoy the story most of all, and you will find the time well spent. Um, before I turn the mic back to Tony, I just would like to say, Tony, thank you so very much for all you have given to all of us these many years, both with the Gazebo series and with the Poetry in Near and Far series, and all the things you've done for the kids through your work with the Kiwanis Club. Really, you are an inspiration in many, many ways, including your poems, including your stand-up work. So just, it's always been a pleasure to be here with you, Tony, and I thank you always for being so encouraging to me and really to everyone.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Thank you. That's surround myself with really good people, and that's the key. But thank you very much. But thank you. What a wonderful reading. And let's hear it for you. I was
Thank you.
hoping for a lot more, to be honest with you. So, but let's hear it for everybody.
Tony, if you want me to read more, I can for you, but I know we were delayed a little at the beginning, so
Yeah, no, I mean, if take some more time if you'd like. I love hearing your stuff. So yeah,
Okay, so I'll tell you what, I'm going to go back to the kite and I'll read a little bit more from that.
that'd be
Okay.
great.
And if
It'd
you
make
could
my
just
night.
give me a wave when you'd like me to stop, I will. Okay. How's
Okay,
that?
that
All
sounds good.
right. So, as we said, yeah, the flower is the one that the little one will see first. The meeting. Not every meeting is announced or begins at a certain time. Not every meeting ends. At every meeting, minutes are taken, though. Words may or may not be involved. Time has passed. Remember the kite? Sometimes it climbs the invisible stairs of wind. Sometimes barely leaves the ground. Sometimes kite lands and waits. The minutes may not exactly tell what has passed between wind and kite. A shore is a bit here and a bit there. Not quite water, not quite land. Instead, the place where water finds land and land finds water, a meeting place. Minutes are taken. Nothing is ever the same. What comes ashore may be very small, but her heart may be very big. We can't always tell where big and small begin and end, if they do at all. Maybe a big heart hides inside a small life. Maybe a small life hides outside a big heart. You might wonder, does the sea look bigger to land than land looks to the sea? Or does flower seem as small to us as it does big to the little one? Yes, yes, it does. And that is why the little one went there first, the meeting. Today, she's the color of autumn's amber, a leaf, a petal, a day whose sun is fading in a cold sky. I can't name her with a word that'll do all the work for you. Human, mouse, grackle, rabbit. That would put her in a box, and she doesn't know the word box. She is becoming, ever changing. Now she is moving toward flower, more windblown than running. The sounds you hear belong to those around her, leaves, brush, stones. She doesn't announce her coming or going. Flower will recognize her, though they've never met. She has important news that can't wait. Flower knows this. But before the news is delivered, they'll introduce themselves. I want you to close your eyes and imagine this. Be patient. This may not happen quickly. This very important meeting won't be put in a box either. You have work to do. An introduction involves coming closer. It isn't just hello. In fact, not hello at all. It's goodbye to whoever you were before we met. That's the urgent news. The little one has arrived and nothing will be the same. The air has gotten a bit warmer. The leaves seem a bit drier. The blackberries have ripened under a different moon. Goodbye, goodbye, and together they began to change the world. It was time to tell their stories. Tony, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Linda. Thank you very much. All right, let's hear it for Linda and for Robert, and we'll get into
Thank
our...
you, everybody. And thank you, Robert. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go into our open mic now. Again, if you do not want to be in the open mic, please put it in the chat. Otherwise, I assume everybody here would like to be. And we're going to start off with Anne, and Bruce, you're on deck.
Okay. Wow. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Linda. And thank you, Tony. A very, very inspiring evening. This is a little whimsical poem. It's an old one. Newsflash: from Bay Ridge to Belmore, Maspeth to Merrick, an alien invasive species has taken over neighborhood bird feeders. What are these fascinating creatures? Where do they come from? And how did they manage to stumble into the wrong hemisphere? Ornithologists label these avian intruders Quaker parrots or monk parakeets. Urban legend states they're descendants of Argentinian escapees from shipping crates accidentally broken open at JFK in the 70s. Originally destined for pet stores, this plucky crew has chosen to live their best lives in suburbia. Initially delighted by the sight of emerald green flocks, residents are jaded by the constant cleanup of twigs falling from massive nests built atop electrical transformers. Across town, a pandemonium of parrots congregates in a towering Norway spruce outside a rectory. What must the priests think of having their prayers interrupted by screeching staccato chatter? Love them or hate them, parrots certainly add to the local color. Don't expect these noisy neighbors to vacate the premises anytime soon. No use booking them a one-way passage on a Caribbean cruise. They're here to stay. Darling, we'll always have parrots.
Thank you, Anne. All right, Bruce, you're up, and Doc, you're on deck.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Linda, for saying everything you said about Tony, because you put it better than I could. Thanks for everything you do. This was published a couple of years ago in an anthology Larry Robin and the people of Moonstone did called The Bill of Rights Day. So this poem that I contributed goes like this. Read the Bill of Rights out loud Perform it as you would a play in a public square, starring you, the hero, one of we, the people, an American with the right to speak without the fear of government tossing you in prison. Print a newspaper. Let your friends and even those you have never met read what you think of a tariff on tea or more tolls on the roads. How the people who arrived yesterday are treated by the people who arrived the day before yesterday. How others are treated as if they are not people at all. Learn whether the marketplace of ideas has a booth for you, without the fear of the government burning your printing press. Pray to a God of your choosing, with people who believe as you do, sharing a ship with you, escaping from the place you were born in, the place you were rejected from, to this place that God has shown you, without the fear of government taxing your altar out of existence. Happy are we to be on our way to America, land of the Bill of Rights. Intermission. 9 more amendments in our 2 remaining acts. Homemade ice cream with the price of your ticket. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, buddy. All right, wonderful, absolutely wonderful. All right, Doc, you're up, and Randy, you're on deck.
Thank you. This is titled Poemancy. On a warm summer eve, we lie amid the fragrances of nature, and numinous crystal stars resonate through caverns of midnight skies. They sing ancient, arcane songs of time in mystic languages of light. Their songs entrance with their poemancy and the magic of their music, stirring mind, heart, and soul with transcendent sacred secrets of peace and love. And night enfolds us with gentle velvet dark. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. All right, Randy, you're up, and Melva, you're on deck.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sure can.
Yes. Okay. So I wrote something and didn't know what it was, and I showed it, and somebody said it's closest to a haibun. But anyway, here you go. Surprise attack. My wife and I had recently arrived at Fort Laramie in Wyoming. Heavily guarded, it is known as the safest place in the far west. We were starting a new life with a 3-year-old and one on the way. My wife was at the doctor's to run some questions by him. Since she had taken our son and it was a beautiful spring morning, I decided to go for a walk. I arrived at the other side of the fort and climbed to an outlook. A small river was making that soothing, gurgling sound. I heard a loud swoosh, like famished cowboys slurping soup. The agony of an arrow piercing my side drops me to my knees. It feels like being branded on the inside. Thoughts collide like several outlaws in a savage saloon brawl. I can't make simple decisions. No call for help, no stumble for aid. One concern emerges: get to my wife. But my mind's a thunderstorm. What's the way back home? I drop my phone, pull over, and park the car. I think, I guess no stages of grief, only ambush. When you get the word that you're healthy, baby has died, there is no bargaining, no process, just finality. Doesn't God know that razor blades are for skin, not for the soul? Poem.
Wow. Thank you, Randy. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, this sorry, just add this May 9th will be my would have been my daughter's 21st birthday.
Terrible, terrible,
Yeah.
terrible. Well, you can see it in everybody's faces here. We're with you.
Thank you.
Okay. Melva, you're up, and Marvin, you're on deck.
Thank you, everybody, especially Linda, who got me started writing poetry. Now I know. I still yearn for my mother's hugs, her gentle pats on the head, her words as she hugged me brought comfort brought peace, even laughter when she said, "You're thick like a dumpling." For years, I used to worry what would happen when she was no longer here in the flesh, when she left for good. Would I be sad or frightened? Would my heart be broken forever? How would I remember her? What would I feel? Now that she's been gone 3 years, 10 months, and 13 days, I no longer worry. I no longer wonder. I think of her with joy, the same joy I felt whenever I thought of her, picture her face, or heard one of her endearing expressions. "You're all right till the doctor sees you." I feel glad and thankful. Thankful she was my mom, a mom who put her children first, who was humble and kind, who always gave a helping hand, who always gave of herself with an open and sincere heart. Now I know she's a mom who still loves me. Thank you.
It's very nice, Melvin. Thank you. And appropriate with Mother's Day coming up. Thank you. All right. Marvin, you're up, and Ophelia, you're on deck.
Thank you, Tony. A train delay. She didn't come to school today. There was a train delay. On the tracks, a lipstick and a battered bag. Across the rails, the scattered names from roll book cards. At home, no note. The bed made and dishes in the sink. At school, the desk is empty. Students whisper with big eyes. The teacher's cafeteria is busy. She was unhappy with her program. That could not have. Her husband left. That was many years ago. She wanted more than this. Has she got it now? She was an artist, you know, only in her dreams. What could we have done? Let's not play that game. She looked okay yesterday. Shows you can never tell. A card with red and blue marks skips along the tracks through tunnels.
Thank you, Marvin. Thank you. Ophelia, you're up, and Guy, you're on deck.
Hi, glad to have your company, and my infinite thanks to Mr. Robert Rubino and Dr. Linda Opyr for their wonderful poetry, and also to Mr. Tony Iovino for facilitating this venue. And
Thank
now
you.
my poem. It's not an epic. On the green. The third pull of the mower cord wrings the heart. The backward fall halts livelihood, residency. A hardworking body supine on manicured grass feel weightless. Wide open eyes lose sight of the heavenly blue. A noiseless ambulance passes by. 4 p.m. It's midnight.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so we have Guy, you're up, and Ronald, you're on deck.
Looks like Guy left, Tony.
Okay. All right. So we've got Ronald up, and Dee Dee, you're on deck. Ronald? Wow. I'm gonna rip through this. Dee Dee, you're up. Larry McCoy, you're on deck.
You gotta wonder if it's something we said.
I don't know. That's a
Thank you. Robert, Linda, exceptional and beautiful work. Thank you so much. And everybody else, of course. This is called Thrice Thunder. They say three's magic. I don't know. I was one of two. Have two descendants. So three's enigma to me. 3 on a match. Third time's the charm. 3 to get ready. I'm going to count to. I remember counting to 3. the children's faces watching, anticipating the third number, guillotine descending, final chance exhausted. But they'd always act in time, my teeth and tongue beginning, and boom, they were at their homework, the toothbrush, the chore, in bed, just in time. If we could count in ominous tones to one another, to the invisible enemies surrounding us, to the sun, the moon, the tides, to war, to meanness, to failure. 1, 2, 3. The power of peace, a blessed silence, a planet floating. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that 1-2, that always seemed to work. And I had my challenging child one year broke her ankle playing red light, green light. And I told her she should have played it red light, green light 1-2. It was the 3 that got her. She didn't laugh. All right, Larry McCoy, you're up, and Sharon Lyons. Is Sharon still here? Sharon, did you didn't read yet, right? You did read. No.
I can hear you. I didn't read yet.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, Larry, you're up, and Sharon, you're on deck.
Okay.
Larry, for some reason I can't hear you. Can anybody else hear him?
No,
I can't hear him.
Can't hear you, Larry.
can't hear.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Hmm.
Try muting him and then unmuting him and see if that works. Okay. I don't think so. Damn.
Tony, does he maybe not have the volume turned up? He has a mic on and maybe the volume not up? Could that do it?
Could be. Larry, could you try turning up your volume maybe? Because you're showing that we can hear you. I mean, we should be able to hear you. No. Okay. All right. All right. We're gonna move on, but maybe Larry, if you dumped out and came back in. Okay. All right. So Sharon, you're up, and hopefully we'll get Larry back in, and if not, JR, you're up.
Okay, well, thank you, Robert and Linda, and thank you, Tony, and thank you all. You're all an inspiration to me, and I'm happy to be here. Okay, this one is named Mother, and I thought I would write something for Mother's Day, and so this is called Mother. Mothers are the ultimate creator. My mother was a gardener, and I am the flower that she raised. I could not be who I am today had it not been for the love she gave. God made a wonderful mother, and he gave that mother to me. All my memories are full of all the sweet things she did for me. So I say, Mother, Mother, if wishes come true, what a gift it would be to have one more day with you. What a glorious moment it would be for me to stand side by side with you and feel whole. All those things you taught me, how to hold a pen and write, I love you and thank you, please. Mother, Mother, I remember how you loved me. I realize now you loved me more than I could see. You were always there for me when I needed you to be, quick to show me that you would take care of it all. Mother, Mother, I close my eyes and I feel your hands I used to hold. Hands that held me close when my tears would fall. Hands that were gentle and soft. Healing hands my mother had that I used to hold. Hands that held me, touched me, gently from the day I was born. Mother, mother, I wish you were here. Mother is a word that means the world to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Larry, let's give it one more try, Larry. I have you as muted. Nah, sorry. Still don't have you. Damn technology. I've been hitting with it today too. All right, JR, you're up.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, Larry, I'm disappointed.
Me too.
I love hearing Larry.
Me too.
Thank you, Robert. Oh, delightful reading. I wish you still lived on Long Island. We could hear you more often. Linda, I'm delighted that you live on Long Island. And oh my gosh, just as good as Saturday, even though it's not in person. So thank you. And thank you, Tony. I wrote this, I think back in 2009, but somehow it's become topical again. Never a good story. Tripping, skipping, running with zeal, swishing, swishing, moguled with exhilaration, rocking, rolling, romping with thrills. It's never a good story. Steamed with illicit passion, jumping with unleashed adventure, climbing with mounting excitement, never, never, ever a prize-winning tale. Kicking yourself without further injury in the back, head, arm, leg, finger for being clumsy, not paying attention, head lost in clouds of thought and embarrassment of moving too fast, reacting too slow. Next time you see one in a temporary sling, brace, cast, cane, walker, bandage, ask them. They'll tell you it was stupid, silly, idiotic, and asinine dumb thing to do. Never the pain-relieving award of a noosed audience. Never racy, juicy, captivating enough for late-night TV. Never a South Seas, Mount Fuji, Grand Canyon of a tale. No, never a good story. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, I'm going to read a short one. Dante's Miss. Lawnmowers and leaf blowers, low-flying jets and unmuffled motorcycles, yelping dogs and screaming children, booming bass from a passing $300 car, beach waves drowned out by tinny music from cheap speakers and chainsaws raucously dissonant, tearing into God knows what. These are the sounds of my summer. Dante, you, born before powered sounds ripped the days and nights, you could not know. Maybe there was peace in the Italian countryside that escapes the modern suburb. For if you had to hear what we do, you'd know the circles of hell's number is 10. All right, everybody. I'll give it one more try because I just hate leaving without you. Nah. All right, listen, thank you, everybody. I apologize for the kerfuffle with signing on. I would love to say I promise you that we'll have it right next week, but I'm hoping that we do. But thank you, everybody. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Linda. Thank you all for your kind words. You say them too often and too much. I really do appreciate them. Have a great Mother's Day, and we'll
Happy Mother's Day to everyone.
we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank you, everybody.